Morning everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison and today we're going over the markets just as usual, looking at a couple of news stories. We're going to be giving a call of the day, looking over the previous calls of the day, as well as chatting to you and having a wee cup of coffee at the same time. So just make sure we're live. Everything seems to be okay this morning, which is good. So see if we've got anybody in watching just now. I think we've got a couple of people in. We have indeed. 1 wee second. I'll just jump over to the chat area. We've got a couple of people in. We've got Stephen King is in, Vin is in this morning, Mitch Dieter is in as well. Mervyn Skidmore is coming in. I'm just waiting on a few more people coming in. About 10 people watching just now. That's very low numbers actually. Brundle25, Gary Parmenter is in. Here we go, 5:30 PM on the east coast of Australia. High tide out the front and CYT is beaming on a smart TV bliss. Excellent, Gary. On the east coast, I went to Perth in Australia when I was younger. It was meant to be for a year, but it lasted 2.5 weeks. The only job I could get out there was selling encyclopedias door to door, so I had to come home because I ran out of money. Anyway, I tried it. That was the main thing. So Perth is on the east coast, isn't it? Matthew Dimmick is in the house as well. Good to see you here. Okay, so we'll just get started. Not as many people here as normal, but I'm sure more people will come in as we go along. So, Crypto Bubbles. CryptoBubbles.net/chart. You can see this is for the hourly on Crypto Bubbles. So this gives us a kind of an overall feel of the market. Overall feel is kind of 50-50 just now, with regards to the market being in green or red. And you can see here over the last hour a lot of them have started to go in the red, just in the red, not big time. Digitex, they're big in the red, 2.76. Oh, it's just changed, so coming back up again. Digitex, Engine Coin minus 1.55, ARC minus 1.2, Aurora Coin plus 2, Hot plus 4%, Wax up 3%. We'll just take a look at it over the last 24 hours. Looks a lot better. All in the green apart from a couple of reds in there. BAT up 11%, KMD up 7%, XTZ up 10%, Wax up 10%, Mana up 6% as well. So there's a few there. We'll just go to the overall markets, just reload that just now. Let's see what's happening. 176 million market capitalization. 176 billion market capitalization. Bitcoin dominance 52.3% as well. Bitcoin price 5,237. Aggregated price across the exchanges up 2.7%, which is a really good thing. And it's going up the way I was looking, or the way I was expecting. I thought I'd have done it quicker, but it's going up towards that 5,400, then up to kind of 5,500, up to 6,000. See what happens from here, but this is where I was expecting it to go, and it's starting to move there just a wee bit slower than I'd kind of hoped though. Okay, who's the big winners? Basic Attention Token, Tezos, Wax, Crypto.com Chain, CRO that is, Theta, Komodo, Holochain, Status, Bitcoin Gold, MadeSafe Coin, Monero, Naro, Arda, all up in the greens. In the reds, we've got ABBC Coin, Stratus, Maker, Loopring. What is Loopring on BTC value? 1373, good opportunity for Loopring. We'll just go back to USD. Insight Chain down, Bytum, Icon, Elf, IOTA, all down. So there's about 15% down in the red and around 85% in the green. Okay, we'll just look at the overall market. Cryptocurrencies 2,154 there are, and over the last 24 hours, who has done the best? We'll just click on that. Dow Coin on $15,000 volume, up 358%. It's not good volume to be up that much. Magnum we've seen yesterday, up 207% over the last 24 hours, up 600% over the last 7 days on low volume. Market cap is just silly. That's just silly just now, the market cap. Can that be right? Somebody could just buy that out and buy the total circulating supply just now if that's the market cap. Anyway, Playgrounds is up 123% on 10,000, so not that much volume. What's a big volume? Optimal Shelf Availability Token, up 79%, up 142% over the last 7 days. Market cap is 9 million. I haven't heard of it, but that's a good kind of market cap, good volume as well. Octoin Coin as well, we've heard of before, up 69%, $52,000 valuation, or market capitalization, not valuation, that's totally different. DEX is up on 7.5 million volume, up 53% for DEX as well. Show hand up 40%. What else is looking good? Show hand only 150,000 market cap on 325,000 volume. Webcoin up 29% as well, 177,000 market cap. Just some of these are just going to be unicorns and just kind of explode as well, because you're talking with a market cap of say 100,000. For 10x's, this goes to 1 million. If 100x's goes to 10 million. If 1,000x's goes to 100 million, and it's still not that much. So it's good to see that. Okay, have we got anybody else in? We have Matthew Dimmock, Richard Cooper, the Stormkeeper, Alex Jug, Mr. Swanfield, Tim Gash, Marcus Japari, Kim O'Brien is in the house. Welcome to you, one of our Brown admins. Toyota Celica is in. G-Slick is in, Crypto Knowledge Alliance, and that's James, one of our Brown admins, and it's his birthday today as well, so happy birthday to you, James. Good to see you here, so big shout out to you and all that you're doing in the crypto space as well as for CYT and your own, what you're doing on your own. So brilliant. Looking forward to meeting you next week. I think as you're coming up, that'll be good to catch up over a quick cup of coffee with you as well. But happy birthday to you, mate, and big shout out to you. Debbie Claydon is in as well. Gary Permenter saying Bitcoin SV will be a good buy at 2 cents. Yeah. Toyota Celica invested 1k bought shares in ETH nodes for passive income. What's your thoughts on nodes, mate? Yes, I've done it in the past, and I think it could be good for passive income. So yes, I think it could be really good for that, depending on the value you're getting and the actual coin itself. So it just depends. It just depends. Sensei Kikuman is in, Cookie is in, G-Slick, what's happening to 10x? LOL. I've never looked at 10x for a while actually. What is happening to 10x? I know Julian Hospice left ages ago, but 10x was a big one for me ages ago, but we're talking months and months ago. Yeah, it's gone down. Yep. So I've never looked at 10x for a while. Okay, so we'll look at some of the coins as well that we can look at. Some of the smaller ones. So we'll go to how do first of all. How do you do? How you do? 365 for how do at the moment, which is good. It did get up to 452. I don't know what these spikes are. Honestly, don't know. I can't remember that happening. But it's up to 345 just now. I expect that to go up as they're going to be coming out on the 29th of April, and there's more and more people coming out to say they're going to be launching with them as well, which is good. Okay, Digitex Futures, how are they doing? 2268 doing brilliant just now, so doing fantastic. BAB, how are they doing? I think they'll probably still be the same. No news that I've seen. Still 4 Satoshi, nothing really there. BAB, Ethereum. We'll look at 114, nothing, so no real change. Metamorph, Metamorph down to 107. They were at 185, so they've come back down again. So no biggie there. It's not a news driven or anything. So Metamorph still doing okay in my eyes. BPT, which is Blockport, quickly go through 2347. Not really doing much from here, but that's fine. It's still relatively stable. Adbank, not looked at that in a while. down to 40, and they were up to 95, around about 100. Again, that's fine, nothing doing, still like what they're doing. IPL, InsurePal, they're down near their all-time low as well, 95. BitDegree, what they're doing, had an email from them this morning, they're at their all-time low as well. And XTRD, they're just jumping up and down all over the place. Yeah, so not much volume at all there, but they're up to 53 just now, but they could very quickly come back down to 20 or something. But they're doing their stuff in the background, so that's all good. Okay, we'll just go back to the chat. Skidmore and admin's brilliant. Yes, they are brilliant. All of them are brilliant. You think SRN will make a comeback? I haven't looked at SRN in a while actually as well. SRN. Just depends what they're doing just now. I don't know what they're doing, what they're up to, what the team are up to, what news they've released, what's been the latest. So I've never really, obviously it was a big thing before, but I think that's when to look at ones. I think that's when to look at projects, is when they've been forgotten about, but you still think, oh, they're good teams, or they had a good team, or they've got a good team. Then I think this is the time to start looking at these projects. And Sign Labs could be one of them. I know it was spoken about a lot from before. Smart People is in. Good morning to you. Gene, morning all. Like button crush. BTT and Dent views, please. We'll check that later on. Excellent. Tether is another AdBank type token with potential. SEMTH. Excellent. Omnitude is at a great price if you want a masternode. 20,000 ecom. Excellent. So Gordy Boy is in as well. So yeah, the masternodes I do like. Buy masternodes. Got one with Howdo as well. So I do like them for passive income. Getting probably a couple of thousand Howdos or Udos every month for that. So I do like them. Peter Carroll is in as well. Okay, so we'll go to the charts and we'll look at BTC, USD. So we're up to 5,217. Now, over the weekend, I was expecting we were going to be around about the 5,500 mark, or at least through this 5,400, but we're not quite there yet, but getting there. It's getting there. So I was expecting that for the weekend, so it's just taken slower than I anticipated. So I think we're going to go up to 5,500, then we're going to get up to 6,000. If we can break through that, that's going to be a massive, massive resistance. If we can break through that with some force, then I think we're going higher still than this. So that would complete, if we went up to 6,400 again, that would complete a kind of cup and handle formation, expected to go down then back up. But for the moment, we need to stay above 5,000. We have, and we're above 5,200 now. I want to stay above that and crash through the 5,400, 5,500 level, and I'm expecting that to happen. So it could drop, you never know, but I just think it's more bullish than bearish at the moment. That's just my opinion though, do your own research and all that stuff. So yeah, I think we're going to go to 5,500 before the week finishes. So we'll just have a couple of look at coins on Binance. Who's doing? Hot is jumping up. Hot has gone up 2 Satoshi, which is a lot. That's, you're talking about 8% at 2 Satoshi. Hot came down to 23, 24. Around about there, so that would have been a good buy-in price if you got in there. There was strong support at 24. Nano is starting to move up. We'll go into Binance actually. Seller was starting to move as well. That was one a call of the day on Monday for Seller at 348. It did get up to 368. Came back down again, but these are just kind of small potato numbers. I think it's going to almost double from here. I think we're going to get to at least 500 soon. It's not there yet, but I do think we're going to get there soon. What was the previous call of the day as well? Yesterday's call of the day was Engine Coin. I think Engine Coin was 3048. we called it at. It's now at 3075. This morning it did get to 3175, so expect Engine Coin to jump up again as well. And if you're a member of the premium group, you might have just got in on Engine Coin when I called it last week, and maybe got 20% on that. Maybe it could be a good time to buy back in again, but obviously do your own research again for that. It's not a recommendation, I'm just saying what I think. So it's moving up, it's moving in the right direction. That was the previous 2 calls of the day, and we'll do a call of the day later on as well. Okay, just jump back. Honest Crypto Journey is in. Reginald Bowler, good morning from New England. Is there some point when Bitcoin SV becomes a good value buy? I just wouldn't touch it at all. To be honest, I just wouldn't touch it at all. I'm sure that it will become a good buy at some point. I just wouldn't touch it. Purely out of principle as well. Never been into it, never would get into it. But it's purely out of principle because of Craig Wright and all that stuff as well. Mervyn Skidmore took a granddaughter to the zoo yesterday. The bears were sleeping. Yes, the bears are sleeping just now. But you know they could wake up, and you know how grumpy they get when they wake up. So I have to be really careful when the bears are waking. And don't poke them too much. Toyota Celica, John McAfee says 1 million 2020, so got to be true. Of course it's got to be true. John McAfee said it. Okay, we'll jump to the news very quickly. President Trump's proposed remittance tax is pushing Bitcoin adoption. So President Donald Trump proposed a remittance tax which would levy additional fees on money being sent to outside of the United States in an effort to curb immigration. Could have the end effect of driving cryptocurrency adoption. And I think this is going to happen anyway. That people are going to start, instead of sending via Western Union and places like that, because it's not cheap to send money abroad, instead of doing that, they're going to start using cryptocurrency. They're going to start using likes of Bitcoin or XRP or Litecoin or whatever cryptocurrency it is. They're just going to start sending that across on the blockchain instead of using these companies that charge exorbitant kind of fees for moving money around the world when there's no need for it in this day and age, especially in a blockchain age. I don't think there's any need for it at all. But if there's going to be a remittance tax as well, then that is definitely going to help the cryptocurrency or the cryptosphere as a whole, and it's going to lead more and more people to look at that. So what's going to happen, imagine a scenario, and Donald Trump puts this levy on or puts this tax on, and people sending outside, so it will just kind of pass on to Western Union or whatever and just say, okay, this has to be taxed, so Western Union pass on to you, and it could be a 10% tax. So if you're trying to send $1,000 abroad, it's really, you're only sending $900 because you're getting charged $100. Now, I'm not saying that as the charges, I'm just saying, for example's sake, if there's a tax on it, for example. So what's going to happen, people are going to do this because it's the only way they know how, but then somebody's going to say, well, I sent $1,000 over and it only cost me $1, it only cost me 50 cents or something, and people are going, it cost you 50 cents, it cost me $100 to send it over. And I said, yeah, I used XRP or used Bitcoin or used Litecoin, and they'll say, what is that, what's Bitcoin, what's Litecoin, tell me all about it. And that is going to be how the kind of virus kind of spreads as well, and that viral kind of marketing thing with regards to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and sending it abroad. And then you're going to get the demise of the likes of Western Union, but you're going to get Western Union or the likes of them buying up these cryptocurrency companies as well to send money abroad and make it cheaper as well. So that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to happen the next kind of couple of years from this year onwards, start to happen. So that's how it's going to spread very quickly. That's how it could spread. So Donald Trump, your president, the American president, is going to help cryptocurrency. It's all because of this kind of immigration that he's trying to control. But inadvertently, it could help cryptocurrency as a whole, which is good, which is a good thing. And we've got another news story, kind of similar. Mexico sets new Bitcoin volume record after Trump's remittance threat. So this Mexico-Venezuela posts record local Bitcoins volumes. So according to monitoring resource CoinDance, which tracks trading volumes on peer-to-peer exchange platforms, local Bitcoins, Paxful and BISC, certain markets continue to see spikes in Bitcoin activity. as Bitcoin has reported the moves from part of a trend which accelerated in many places in line with Bitcoin price climbing steeply earlier this month. I'll just see if there's any numbers here. The period to April 13th was especially successful for Mexico, which set a new all-time trading record of 10.6 million pesos, which is $500,000 on local Bitcoins. That's going to continue to go up and up and up. $500,000 is going to be nothing in this time next year. So on local Bitcoins and from Mexico, you're probably talking millions and millions, tens of millions. So that figure is just going to be dwarfed very, very soon, I think. So this is more on that news story as well. Goldman Sachs. So I don't know if you've seen this. Goldman Sachs, an American multinational investment bank and financial services company headquartered in New York, was previously believed to be setting up a cryptocurrency trading desk, according to a report from Bloomberg. So obviously we've seen this news story before. However, during a hearing on April the 10th, entitled Holding Megabanks Accountable, a review of global systematically important banks 10 years after the financial crisis, Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon categorically refuted that the bank had any plans to open a crypto trading desk. So he kind of sets the record straight here. So he said the first Bloomberg article wasn't correct. Like others, we are watching and doing work to try to understand the cryptocurrency market as it develops, but we never had plans to open a cryptocurrency trading desk. And he goes on to say we might open a trading desk, a crypto trading desk at some point in time, but there's no question when you're dealing with cryptocurrency, it's a new area. It is unclear from a regulatory perspective. It's unclear whether in the long run as a currency, those technologies are going to work and be viable. Do you think he's telling the truth? Do you think they're into cryptocurrency already? Obviously trying to cover their arse after what's happened over the last kind of financial crisis 10 years ago with the collapse of many banks because of the mortgage fiasco. So I don't know if they're not into cryptocurrency. I don't think he would be totally open and honest and say, yeah, we bought millions of dollars worth already, because that's going to make them look bad, especially when it's this type of forum that they're looking at. And when it's that type of forum where they're being kind of held accountable, then they're not going to admit to that, I don't believe. Not that I'm saying he's lying, but I just think there's more to it than that. I think there will be into Bitcoin just now. It'd be silly not to be honest. And this is from News BTC. Bitcoin trend overwhelmingly positive as bulls eye 5,400. So talking about the trends here and the kind of TA. From a TA point of view, it's looking good to go up to 5,400. This is from News BTC, as I said. So they're saying it's looking overwhelmingly bullish, and I tend to agree with that as well. We've seen this yesterday. Cointelegraph, largest travel management firm in UK, accepts Bitcoin. So Corporate Traveller, the largest travel management firm in the United Kingdom, is now accepting Bitcoin for payments, according to the press release on April the 15th. So we've seen that yesterday. I kind of posted it yesterday as well, but just to kind of give you that again. And thanks, by the way, to Adeb and Rob, brilliant admins, and James as well, who can provide some of the news stories as well for me, as well as going on to cryptocompare.com/news. You can get them there. I'm not going to kind of look at that. Rakuten Bank now allows millions of its customers to buy crypto. So Japanese e-commerce giant Rakuten, which was recently granted a license by Japan's Financial Services Authority to operate as a cryptocurrency exchange, on April 15th launched their account registration services for the new wallet, Rakuten Wallet. Users who are members of Rakuten Bank will have an easier time creating a wallet, only requiring an update of information on a web application. And the central processing of KYC that Rakuten implements is also a factor in increasing adoption. So this is good. Japan are way ahead of anybody just now with regards to crypto adoption, and this is a big boost in adoption, like they say in this article on investmentblockchain.com. So this is good news for the cryptosphere as a whole. And they've got their own kind of wallet as well, which is good as well. And we'll not go over that. I'm just going over the news stories quickly. This is Howdo as well. We're talking about here at Howdo. We eagerly wait to see what new launch supporter, street athlete and former world champion Melanie Dryson will bring to the platform. So they're bringing out all these kind of supporters of Howdo, and how they're going to be on Howdo when it opens up as well for their launch partners as well. So they're doing this kind of every day, I think, which is a good thing for Howdo. I'll just see if there's any more news stories. Bot-enabled market manipulation rife on decentralized exchanges, researchers claim. So arbitrage bots are being widely used for manipulative, profit-making strategies on decentralized exchanges. A study from researchers at Cornell Tech has claimed. The news was reported by Bloomberg on April the 15th. So this is the news. We kind of all know this anyway, that bots are big in all the exchanges, not just the DEXs, but in all the kind of centralized exchanges as well. BitMEX plans to open crypto options platform. What does it mean for you? How will the options... I'll post this news story as well. With options, users can trade an asset at any price in the future, which widens trading strategy to support hedging and speculation. Because it can be sold at any price within the expiry date, users can gain some protection from using options if traded correctly. Generally, they are less risky than stocks, with the cryptocurrency market being one of the high risk to begin with. The option of having options is something investors should look forward to as well. So you could say, okay, I want to buy Bitcoin. You think in the future it's going to go higher, so you want to buy it just now at a certain price level in the future, and you can sell it before then as well to protect yourself and hedge against any kind of future falls or future rises, depending on what way you're kind of hedging. So that could be a good thing. This is BitMEX. I think there's a lot of competition for BitMEX coming out, so I don't expect them. Well, they're going to have to keep up with the times and change things as well and become more reputable as well, because it's not got a good name, if I'm being honest. And I think that's it for the news. I'm just going through this quickly. Goldman, yep. Mexico, done that. Can we just jump back? Hot is certainly moving. It looks like it's going to go up to 29.30, so it's jumping up big time just now, and this morning it was at 25, so it's jumped up a good 16% there, although it states 11% here. It's jumped up, I think it was 24 this morning, was it? 25. There's still a good 16%. So it looks as if it's going to go to 29.30. See, here's bots here. You can see the bots trading actually on this. Look at this. These exact numbers. This is bot trading. If you look at this here, 37037. That's the bots. And it's still going. They're selling at this price. So they're taking a profit and they're selling at 28 Satoshi at 3707. So this is the bots at work just now. You can see this quite clearly. They're still selling. So this is what they're talking about with manipulation. But it looks as if it's going to go still. Look at this, big time, big time. But they're fighting against the bots. Yeah, they're definitely fighting. And look at the big numbers, the big buyers coming in. 408,000, 375,000. It looks as if it's going to go to 29.30 against bots' wishes as well. Look at all those 37037. We'll see them start to come back in again. So this is the bots kind of at work as we speak. But there's big buys coming in. It's quite good to see that. Not huge buys coming in, but big buys coming in. So this doesn't seem that much in the grand scheme of things, 37,000, but if you've got hundreds of them going on all the time, and you can see there all the way down, 37037, that's the bots kind of at work. But it looks as if they're going to lose this time. It's going to go to 29.30 Satoshi. So hot is moving just now. Reginald Bowler, good morning from your odds. Right, I just said that. Sean Dubs is back, worth buying into at this stage for a day or few day trade. We just start looking at charts. BAT and BTC. It's risen already, but it's doing good things. But in the Brave browser, it's just really catching on. It's just going viral just now, I think, the Brave browser. So it's just like, it's having that kind of Google effect. You know, when Gmail came out and it was only going to be, if you recommended somebody, you could get a Gmail account. I think it's having that kind of similar viral effect as well. So it could go higher here. And you're talking it's 2.71%, but it's been up more than that. It's 9%. So it just depends on what time zone we're kind of looking at. So yeah, I think it could get to its all-time high. Its all-time high being 7659. I think it's going to go much more than that. Price you're looking at 33 cents. So if we look at the BAT, 418 million market capitalization, rank 24. Could go higher. It's riskier, I think, but depends if you're looking to trade on this. Probably go right down if you're doing day trading, right down even to the 5-minute level. 5-minute level crossed over to 6163. Didn't get to 5%. So it depends on what percentage you're looking for. If you're looking for a couple of percentage points, then definitely this could be worth trading. But if you're looking for bigger gains, then maybe not so much just now. It could go much higher than this, but you've got to look at the market capitalization. You've got to look at where it is in relation to its all-time high, which is very close to it. And there could be better opportunities elsewhere for BAT. But if you're in it for the long term, it's totally different. Man K9 have Scottish blood. Canny. Man Canny have Scottish blood. Oh, the man Canny have Scottish blood, right. It's just K9 kind of threw me. Gary Pimenta, JSE coin is an interesting project, Steve. Easily mined on a laptop, up 5% today. JSE coin. Haven't heard of that. 300,000. What was its peak? 1.9 million market cap. Volume is 125. Volume is extremely low. Virtually no volume. Somebody's just gone in, stuck 125. Or not, two people have gone in and just stuck some change in. Not that I'm saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying there's just not. Well, it is a bad thing. Obviously, it means nobody's really kind of looking at it. Social, what they're doing. Social, April the 9th. April the 3rd, March the 15th. They don't really update much on social media. Well, certainly not on Twitter. That's not social media, but everybody's in cryptocurrency is on Twitter or checks out Twitter. They should be. Thanks for that. Top of the morning to you, Steve. That's from Axel. Good morning to you. Down today in my chips bag. Good morning to you, Nicky Sheldrake. Morning, Steve. Do you think it's worth getting into hot now? It'd be difficult to say if there's news out or there's some kind of rumours coming out about hot. It's only up 4 Satoshi from today, which is 16%, which is good. It could be worth getting into. I like hot for the long term. I definitely like hot for the long term. I think it could be really, really good for the long term. So if you want to get in at 29 Satoshi, you could get in, but I'd figure on holding it for the longer or shorter to longer term for hot just now. Seller is pumping. We'll just have a wee look at Seller and then we'll go on to the call of the day. Seller, oh, caller. For goodness sake, man. Seller, there it is. Go to the hourly. Yeah, the big kind of sell wall there, but look at this. That sell wall is coming down quite quick at 350. So there's a lot of kind of interest in this just now, and I've not seen any news. So that sell wall was about 10 million there just now, and that was coming down quickly. So is there something happening? It did go up to 368, came down. So we'll see what's happening with seller. But as I said, I do expect this to almost double. I don't think it'll quite get to double in kind of one stage, one fell swoop. But I think that'll be the start of it. And it was a call of the day on Monday at 348. So it's still at 348 just now. It did go up to 368, but it's still at 348. Okay, the call of the day today is, I'm watching it right now, I went in on it for seller. Yeah, I still think it's going to go up kind of big time. Nicky Sheldrake got a big bag of HOT, just thinking about buying more for trading. So just have a wee look at HOT as we're going as well. How's it going just now? 186, 285. Okay, that's on the hour. So it might well do, it's doing well, the trading is going well. And seller as well, where are they? They're not even in the kind of top yet. .95%. Yeah, that's 349. So we've got some big kind of buy walls in there as well, down to 338. So something's going on. Something's going on with seller. Something might be going on with HOT as well. So it's looking good for both of them. Okay, so call of the day today is going to be Agrello. It's not on that one. That's on a 5-minute chart. And we'll go to the daily. So Agrello is the call of the day today at 2054. I'm just going to mark that down so I can go back to the calls of the day. 2054. I've called this already in the premium group. It's gone down. You'd think, looking at the charts, you'd be thinking that this has gone down. It's not doing that well. But if you consider where it's been, I will just take this off just now for you and I'll show you my thinking here. That's my thinking. So it jumped up. This is back the beginning of the year, beginning of this year, end of last year, very end of it. So 1st of January, it was at 1,029. It did, if you recall, it kind of went up 400%. So it crossed over. When it crossed over, it went up 400 and odds %. And that was with a crossover. And obviously it's come back down since then. So how much has it fallen? It's fallen 62% since it jumped up. So if we look at this, I'm going to look at the Fibonacci retracement and do a different wave from the bottom up and look at the peak. We can see here it hits that 78.6% perfectly before bouncing back up again, and there's a peak there at 78.6%. So I think it's going to jump up from here. These are the levels that kind of traders look at, and 61.8% being the most obvious one that a lot of kind of traders see a bounce kind of happening from. Didn't quite happen as it fell through that. Now there's the Bitcoin price going kind of shooting up as well, but I think it's going to jump up from here from 2054. So that's the call of the day today. We'll just look at the charts on the 4-hourly. So it doesn't look good. As I said, according to, if you're looking at that on the charts just alone, you'd say it's not looking that good. Even on the hourly chart, it's not crossed over yet. The 70 EMA crossed over the 50 EMA. But looking at the Fibonacci retracements, then I would kind of call this at 2054. So that's the 3 calls of the day this week. We had seller on Monday, we had Engine Coin yesterday, and we've got DLT Agrello today as well. Let's get that rid of that. So I think that could be a good one, but obviously do your own research. I'm not saying it's definitely going to go up, but just what I think, and I'm not in this either. So I'm not in this, but obviously I'm still biased because if you kind of look at all the calls of the day and you say, okay, he picks really good calls of the day and they do go up within 10 days, then hopefully you'll buy the premium group or membership to the premium group. So I am biased when I make all the calls, even though I'm not in on all of them. So I just have to be open and honest about that, because that is the kind of end goal, to ask you to join the premium group. If you don't, it's cool. I just like making the calls as well. So that's the call of the day, DLT. Let me know what you think about that. And then we can just have a wee chat and just go to some charts as well. B is saying hot, hot, hot. Yes, it is looking hot just now. Seller is pumping. I've seen that. Got a big bag of pots. Seen that. Not much happening in the market today. There's not. It's kind of. Yeah, there's not much happening at all. We're talking about XRD, possibly XTRD dropping, and it has. It's just dropped there. And 24. That's my dog in the background, by the way. Okay, what else is going on? Is there anything interesting? BTT is going up as well. That's went up 1 Satoshi. And this is when I thought it was going to jump up, but it didn't move. Get rid of that. So BTT 14.15 is at 15 Satoshi just now. Could be a good buy from here. Nano is starting to move as well. Engine coin, what are we at? 3084 for engine coin. I do expect this to shoot up at some point, or shoot up even more. Doc is starting to move a wee bit, not that much. Metal starting to go up. I think metal represents a good buying opportunity just now, actually. Gas as well for Neo. Store J. Never really looked at Store J. I don't think it's one I've ever called, even in the premium group. I don't think I've ever called Store J. Aeon. Called that before and done rather well the last time. Get rid of these. These are kind of old ones I was looking at. So Aeon could do good as well. Vib, called this loads of times, is due another jump up. BAT we've just looked at as well. Encash still going down. 38. How low does this go? GRS. Almost a full retracement for Grosvenor coin. So this could be a good one as well. ARN, seen that jumping yesterday. Nulls Bull, that's jumped already. We called that just before it jumped as well. Keep saying we, but I just say we as the team, as in CYT as a collective. BTG. So there's going to be a lot just trading on Binance alone. That's all we're doing. Obviously, if we're looking on Bittrex, we're looking on KuCoin, if we're looking at them, we could do really well as well. But I think it's good just to focus on one exchange. So you get to know the coins on that exchange. You get to know them because you're looking at them every day. So if you're jumping from exchange to exchange to exchange, like IDEX, KuCoin, you're going into OKX, you're going into Upbit, and you're going into all of them, looking at them, you don't get to know all the coins more intimately. And sometimes you get an intuitive feel about certain coins kind of going up and down as well. You get to know them and the way they kind of trade as well, or you know the way, you get to feel the way people trade them as well. And that's why some of the coins I've never really traded, because I've never got that intuitive feel. Store J being one of them as well. I don't think I've ever called that in the premium group. I can't remember calling that. I must have at some point. Kind of jumped over there at 3912, jumped up by 300–400%. See if we are. People got in. 51 watching just now. If you're watching just now, just say hi if you've not already left a comment. Seeing what else we've got. And we'll look at the latest news as well. See if there's any kind of big news coming out. And we'll look at the Bitcoin price before we head off. DLS BSV, Kraken joins Shapeshift, Binance and others saying goodbye to Bitcoin SB. I noticed OKX wasn't delisting them. I've seen that this morning as well. The growing list of companies ending Bitcoin SV support. Gemini is now the largest Bitcoin exchange to add full SegWit support as well. John McAfee among crypto adherents who knows Satoshi's true identity. Litecoin price maintains $80 level, nothing much there. Bitcoin Forest offers AI prediction for crypto markets. Delisting continued, several exchanges followed Binance to oust coin. Crypto analyst says Bitcoin bull run targeting 68,000 plus Ripple and XRP, blah blah blah. Okay, so nothing much there. Okay, VeChain anyone? We'll have a look at VET. Close to its all-time low. So we're at 134. All-time low was around about 100. So good support at that 103 level, but say 100 level. So it's only 34% up from its all-time low, which is good support. And from its all-time high, we're looking at 337. So 2x from here for VeChain to get to its all-time high, or 3x. So it looks good. This could bounce off the 50 EMA actually. So that's looking good for VeChain if we put the fib retracement tool on. Yeah, we've got a bounce at that 61.8% level. So this could be a good one. Again, VeChain's kind of forgotten about just now. Just certainly over the last couple of weeks, a lot of people are not talking about it, and that's the time to start looking at them as well. Just one last look at Binance. Hot with the order books, still about the same, but it looks like it's going to go to 29.30. Seller has obviously kind of fell down a wee bit. 347. Okay. We'll look at the crypto bubbles. Hot is up there. ABBC is coming up. Digitex is up, coming up as well. BIX, BTT, Remain, Aeon, Zell. Okay. Edward Dwally. Morning, Steve. Any idea of the exact date for the start of Digitex Futures Exchange? It's the end. I don't know the exact date. To be honest, I think they've announced it though. So I'll jump into the group to see what the exact date is. Chris Cash is in. Good morning from Holland. Steve, if you mind, we take a look at Friends Ethereum Classic, please. Yes, like Ethereum Classic as well. ETC could represent a really good buying opportunity here actually. BTC, Ethereum Classic. Yeah, so we had this kind of spike up. So I had to spike up from here, about 36%, came back down. But if we look, we've hit that 88.6% level on the fib retracement. So I think this again, I was looking at this morning as well. This again represents a really good buying opportunity. And we'll see what the price is in dollar value. ETC, we're looking at $6.19 at the moment. And where have we been? I'll just look at the all-time low was $3.48. All-time high, talking about $20. So I still think this represents a really good buying opportunity, and I still would accumulate. I was talking yesterday, what would be some of the coins you would kind of buy and walk away from. Ethereum Classic, I wouldn't buy and walk away from, but I would definitely buy it and accumulate it and keep an eye on it. So if we're talking, if we kind of rate them, I don't know how you'd kind of rate them. So you'd rate something like Bitcoin A+, because you just kind of buy it and dollar cost average in and just buy it and just walk away from it. So say you had 10 grand, $10,000, you just buy Bitcoin and just walk away for a couple of years. Ethereum Classic, would you buy and walk away for a couple of years? No, what you probably do is buy it and kind of keep an eye on it. So Ethereum Classic to me represents probably a B+ So if we went from A plus A, B plus B, etc. So I'd say Ethereum Classic for me would be a B plus or an A for that. So you wouldn't quite buy it and just walk away and forget about it, thinking it was definitely going to go up. But that's how I'd rate Ethereum Classic. From what I've seen, from what I've looked into it, I would definitely kind of buy and accumulate that just now. So yeah, it's still like it for the short term. This could be a good bounce on the 50 EMA. It could bounce from here quite nicely actually. But I would just be keep an eye on it. Put a tight stop loss on it as well. Stop loss of 5%, which would represent, say, down to here. So say 113,000. It's not got support there. If you want to go higher, or sorry, lower, it's got good support at 108,000. So you might want to put your support at 107,000 if you're buying from here as well. It's just 10% loss, but the risk to reward ratio could be really, really good on this. So that's my thoughts on that. Look at CND. How about we look at CND as well? I've seen that as well. I think we looked at that yesterday. CND BTC. This is on the daily. So this is macro picture. If we look at the macro picture, we have to do that in order to get some context, because if we looked at this on its own, you think, well, it's near its kind of high just now, you wouldn't really be buying. But if you put it into context and say, well, it's near its kind of low actually. So would you be buying at the moment at 399? I still think it represents a buy. You've got this kind of resistance here, around about the 430 level. So if we can break through that, it's definitely a buy and it's going to go higher. But it's kind of languishing around this area just now. This is for the short term. We're looking on the daily as well. If we look on the 4 hourly, it's kind of crossed over there. 70 EMA has crossed over the 50 EMA, so it's looking good from that point of view. Obviously the 1 hour will have as well, but I don't know if it's gone down from there. So crossed over in 1 hour at 345. It's at 399 just now. So it's looking okay, and we could get a wee bounce from here for CND if you're looking short term. Longer term looks good as well. I hope that helps. Cheers, Steve. Catch up with you tomorrow. Be safe, everyone. You as well, be. And thank you for watching. Really do appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there just now. Have a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. And remember, call of the day today was DLT at 2054. Call of the day yesterday was Engine Coin at 3048. Call of the day on Monday was Seller at 348. So we'll see how they pan out over the next kind of couple of weeks. So when I'm making a call of the day, I expect it to go up within 10 days. And after the 10 days kind of cuts off, we can't say anything more, because you could leave it open forever and just say, oh, I called it back in the year 2020 or back in the year 2017 or whatever. You know what I mean. I'm talking mince now. I'm going to go. Okay, have a brilliant day, whatever you're doing. Until next time, namaste. Take care. Bye now.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.